Tom Grace was the voice of the Penguins and an important face in the community from 1999-2000 through the 2006-07 season, and rejoined the organization as the team's broadcaster from 2010 through 2013. Known for his unique goal calls and play-by-play style, Grace was behind the mic for the team's trips to the Calder Cup Finals in 2001 and 2004. He also served as the host of the Penguins Report radio show and made hundreds of appearances at schools, social functions, and official events for the club. Grace called more than 1,000 games during his time with the Penguins and was the recipient of the James H. Ellery Memorial Award given to the individual or news outlet for outstanding coverage of a team on 3 occasions. Prior to joining the Penguins, Grace spent 3 seasons with the Hampton Roads Admirals of the ECHL. He also spent 4 years calling games for the Boston College Eagles men's team during his time in college.
You get a lot of smiles. You're gonna get a lot of smiles when you ask about Tom Grace. You know, pure entertainment. Well, first I should start very good at his job. You know, for people that don't know Tom Grace personally, they don't see the type of person he is. He's, you know, like I said, really good storyteller. He's entertaining, but first and foremost, really good at his job. I mean, I've been around this game for a long time. To me, he sticks out as the best I've seen. Maybe a little biased. Some people didn't like it, especially the Hershey fans. But for us players, I mean, we felt he always had our back. He was trying to stay as objective as possible. But if you listen to the game that he was broadcasting, he was very good at his job, very good at his craft. And I think that's what people should know and remember about Tom Grace.
Sort of a number of things about Tom. Like, number one, I think what made Tom so good and so important to, like, you know, the team becoming as popular as it did right off the hop was number one, how much he cared about winning. Like, you know, obviously, if we won it, he wasn't getting bonuses for us winning. I don't think his contract, you know, it's not like coaches, you know, it's not like players where the on-ice product, you know, wins and losses is really what's going to define us. But he, like, genuinely, sincerely cared about winning hockey games. And I think that's part of why, like, when I talk to other coaches around the NHL, people that we were competing against, they hate him. They absolutely hate him. But that's because he loved our team so much, and he, you know, even though he was in the broadcast booth, he was ultra competitive, and that came through in his broadcast, I think. But I also often said, and I told Tommy this, you know, a number of times, that I was incredibly impressed with his preparation going into games. Like, he's not a guy who just showed up, and I mean, he was dialed in as far as who we were playing against, even, you know, asking questions about the way they play the game, or, you know, just whatever he could do to make sure that he was prepared going into the game to call the best game.
Oh man, my first impressions of Tom Grace was, you know, I didn't know what to make of Tom. I mean, he comes in like a tornado. You know, he's got the fancy suit on, and, you know, he's just full of life. He really lit up the room the first time I met him. I mean, that's the way he comes in all the time, but just passionate, loved the WB Pens. And, you know, I knew I was going to like this guy. You know, I think when Tom gets on the radio, he knows what people want, and he's there to entertain. And, you know, he's extremely knowledgeable about the game. And I think the biggest thing is he's extremely passionate, and he gets emotional about the game. And I think that's where the similarities between Tom, the man, and Tom, the broadcaster, kind of collide, his passion and his emotion for the game and for the Pens.
Tom's full of life. He's full of life and good energy. And you come across different people throughout your lifetime, professionally, personally, that in just a second of thinking of them, they can bring a smile to your face. They can bring a good energy throughout, you know, your being. And Tom's that guy. You bring up Tom right now, and I can think of different moments where Tom brought an energy and brought a feeling to myself and to everyone around us that was fun, that made us laugh, that made you happy, that would leave you there being like, Tom is unapologetically Tom, and it's awesome. And I think that I could think of so many instances where him being himself, him just bringing it, brought an energy to their room and a memory that you can call back on. That's different from a lot of people. That's long lasting.
We're going back to the Stone Age with Philadelphia again. What else is new?
Kyoto, Niittymaki and Kyoto, here we go.
Yep, here we go. Niittymaki can't beat him in a game, so we'll try to beat him in a fight.
And they're going to go to center ice for this main
and
event.
Lopez Chuck is just pounding on Boyd Keane. And
oh,
look at
Kyoto's got this.
Oh, Andy puts the jersey over Niittymaki's head. Andy Kyoto is beating Niittymaki's brains in. What a show! Oh, Niittymaki, that's the guy from Finland who just got finished. Andy Kyoto for president. What a beating! Oh, Niittymaki looks like Gilligan getting hit on the head with a coconut. It doesn't get better for this.
If that call didn't exemplify and show how invested Tom was in our team, in our journey, in the game, I don't know what does. And he, it's a moment in time. And I think as a broadcaster, when you're in that role, you connect moments in time with commentary, with energy. And, you know, that particular moment in time, what I remember way more even than, you know, when I reflect on that, is the building, our fans, the whiteout, and Tom's call. And I think that's, you know, it just really furthers the point about how invested he was, how much he cared, how passionate he was, and what came out in that moment. And yeah, you see that video played here and there, and Tom was just a huge part of it. He's a huge part of that moment in time.
Now, for some of us that got to know him, you know, outside the hockey world, like, what a good storyteller, what a funny guy. I mean, I could have beers with Tom Grace and just let him talk for 2 hours and have like the greatest time. You know, he was that good of a person, extremely smart. Just remember a story. He probably remembers stories about me and him more than I do. You know, he's but what a blessing to have. You know, I always remember this one thing when he was calling out a game, and he called me the heart and soul. And you know, I told him that before, but that meant a lot. You know, a heart and soul. Someone says that about you, I took it to heart and didn't want to let him down. And the fact that he said that on the air, and that meant a lot to me. And Tom Grace was great to me, great to my family, a good friend, and I'm happy for him.
So I've been holding on to something for quite some time now. And if I'm ever having a party at my house, or just going to make a drink that night, or going to open up a bottle of Coke or something like that, I still always have this little memento in my drawer, and I use it every night.
So what I suggest you do, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, is head to the refrigerator, grab something cool to drink, perhaps even a snack.
Not a drink is made in the Guerin household without hearing Tom Grace's voice, and I love it. Makes me happy every day.